This episode is brought to you by TickPick, where smart fans buy and sell tickets. Check out TickPick for the best ticket prices for your next game, concert, or event, and use promo code PODCAST to save $10 off any order over $49. That's TickPick.com. Promo code PODCAST.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we got our first ranking show of the week. It's going to be quarterbacks and running backs today. Going to go over some of the interesting rankings we have this week, which I think it is starting to switch up a little bit, don't you think, Jeff? I did my ranks and it just looks weird. I think it's strange. I mean, bye weeks are affecting that, but it's odd.
It's much more jumbled now, especially after last week's craziness.
Well, especially think about it at quarterback when you have Atlanta, Denver, New Orleans, and Washington all on bye this upcoming week. So you don't have Matt Ryan, even Simeon, Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins. So it's really gonna, take an effect on these quarterback rankings especially. But before we get into that, make sure you go check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet. We're Fantasy Football Prophet on Instagram. The website's fantasyfootballprophet.com. And make sure you go check out our sponsor, TickPick. You can go use the promo code podcast on their site and get 10% off any of the orders. So let's get right into quarterbacks, Jeff. I didn't change anything up here. Still Aaron Rodgers. I don't care if he hasn't been the number one quarterback every week. I'm still putting Rodgers number one this week. How about you?
And I agree.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for him not to be my number one quarterback. It's just he has, to me, the best chance to be number one every week. And he's consistent. He's obviously a great player. It doesn't matter if he is number one every week or not. He's going to be up there. So he's my number one. And, I mean, he's been putting up 30-point games, though. So
yeah, it's not like, I was going to say, it's not like it's been bad.
And then my number two is Tom Brady. Yeah. Again, it's just
same thing.
Two. I'm not changing these two around really at all. But, all right. Well, this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Who's your number three this week?
Let's see if you agree with me on this one.
I'm curious. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. So, as you alluded to,
I probably don't.
Quarterback has been a little erratic.
Yeah.
And since a lot of the big guys are out, and I really am banking against New England's defense, and I'm going Jameis Winston number three. Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy to think that I also put Jameis Winston number three.
Did you really?
I did.
I thought I was going to be out on a limb on that one.
I did. Jameis Winston is also my number three.
Played well last week. I mean, you look. It's kind of one of those things. We were joking about like where Deshaun Watson's going to be and everything like that, and then you're like. I'm like, wow, I can't believe he's going to, possibly be that high. And then, you were like, yeah, well, look at where every quarterback. Well, and you're like, oh, my God.
With Breeze and Ryan and Cousins, with these guys all out, I mean.
Yeah, everyone bumps up. And
New England's been terrible.
They have been awful.
This might be different. It's the Thursday night. You never quite know what's going to happen. And this could be the week they turn it around. But as of now, I mean, you have to go with the player that's playing against the team that's been terrible. And it's Jameis. It's weird. I mean, yeah, we both did it. It is crazy. So at least we're on the same wavelength there. And I haven't even looked at expert ranks or consensus yet, which I'll probably pull that up here so we'll know. But have you seen where the experts have him yet? Have you seen the rank on him?
No, I haven't. I know it's not that high.
All right, so maybe we're a little nuts on that. But hey, I feel pretty decent about it.
I don't feel bad. And he had the, obviously because of the bye week in week 1, he had a slow start in week 2 with Chicago, but then he went against a good defense at Minnesota, and then he finally got a better matchup with New York, and he just torched them last week. And now you're going against, New England that's struggling. He's trending up, if you will. And I love all his weapons. And, even last week, I think Brait and O.J. Howard had touchdowns.
Yeah, O.J. Howard had a big touchdown.
And on top of that, who knows, maybe New England will have to look into the run game a little bit, because guess who's back from from suspension is the muscle hamster. So who knows how many snaps he's going to get, but, adds another level that the defense has to prepare for. So
so it's crazy to think we're putting Jameis Winston that high. And I mean, it doesn't even matter if we have him 3 or whatever. He's pretty much a guaranteed top 10 guy this week, you're playing him. If you have him on your team, I think this is a must start this week. And I mean, man, New England. I'm still flabbergasted by how bad their team. I don't even know how to describe this.
It's one of those that I would have, if all of a sudden they came out and they completely shut Jameis Winston down and they, scorched Tampa Bay. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past Belichick, but at the same time, I gotta, the way they've been playing is just terrible. So, until that stops, I'm going to rank it accordingly.
Yeah, and his expert rank is 5th this week. So.
Oh, wow. Really?
He's up there.
So I thought we were being bold, but I guess not that much.
Not as crazy. All right, so some other guys. Let's see if there's anybody that looks, really interesting to us up here. I'm keeping Russell Wilson up there at my number 4. I don't know, just he's putting up pretty decent numbers.
Yeah, it's number 6 for me, and I'm not a huge fan, but
Dak's my number 5.
Dak is number 4 for me.
See, he's been good.
He has, yeah.
And I think Green Bay is not the greatest of defenses, so keep him up there. My number 6 was Stafford this week.
He's number 5 for me.
So so we have the same top 6 players. Yeah. It worked out even with this interesting of a week.
This is maybe where we'll depart.
Probably. I went with Roethlisberger at 7.
Oh my God! Okay, I did too, and I know he's way lower on consensus rankings.
Yeah, he's at 14.
Yeah, and I thought. I was gonna say I jumped him up big time because he's at home against Jacksonville has been pretty good, but at the same time, I don't know why people are doubting him completely. At number 14, I really like.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel more comfortable with him than some of these guys on the list.
I find that was the one that was the most surprising to me.
I went Rivers at 8.
I have him at 9.
So I kept him up there. Carson Wentz I put at 9. I can't put Carson Wentz up in there. It's not like he's been great, and Arizona's not even a great matchup, but I don't like a lot of these other players. I guess that's kind of where I'm at this week.
Yeah, well, I don't argue with that.
That's where it's you definitely see him dropping way down, but I'm going to take the chance, I guess. And then Deshaun Watson's my number 10.
My 10th as well.
Maybe I don't know if I'm buying too much into last week. Maybe that's what I'm doing, but it's not just that. It's just the options aren't great. If you put at least 3 of those guys that aren't in the playing this week, they would all go ahead of him. So he's really going to be like a 13th.
Every single one of them would. Yeah, I think KC is a very good defense. So I have him at number 10 because even when he's played pretty decent teams and he's salvaged it with a rushing touchdown or something. He looked obviously amazing last week. I don't think that's going to be the same. But, the guys underneath him have been way more inconsistent than he has.
Yeah. And where did you say you put him?
I have him number 10.
All right. What about Jared Goff? He's going against Seattle. Yes, I know.
I have him all the way down at 22.
I have him 17. Yeah. I wanted to put him higher because I like the way he's played. Yeah. He's not like
he's been great. He's been fine.
He just doesn't have a good matchup this week.
No, not at all.
Andy Dalton I put up at 13 after his big week, but Buffalo's a tough defense so far. I think we can actually say Buffalo's a good defense. So I put Dalton at 13, which doesn't even feel good, but it's there.
I was going to say I have Eli Manning at 12.
I have him 15th.
That definitely doesn't feel good.
High.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like one of those where you look at it and you're like, oh man, I wish I could move him down, but who am I? I'm not going to jump Carson Palmer over him after last week.
I had a nice little conversation with one of our listeners on Sunday morning debating on who we should start at quarterback. He wanted to go Roethlisberger or Manning, and I'm just like, it's Roethlisberger. Don't even think about it. He was hesitant, and he thought it should be Manning, and he should have listened to himself and not me. It was Manning. So that's why I told him too, is Eli's going to have big games. Like, he's still going to have big games, but he's going to probably have a lot more of these bad games than he used to. He used to have bad games too, but I think they're happening more and more often. But if Eli has a big game, it's not going to surprise me. So
yeah, but it's also not going to be surprising. Like, Roethlisberger is very much like.
Yeah.
I think he's a less at least you can kind of figure out what Roethlisberger is going to do, and that's why he's number 7 for me this week as well. I know we feel like a broken record, but at the same time, like, his proven track record is when he's home, he plays phenomenal. Well,
I thought it was a little overblown, but
it is not.
He's had one home game this year. He had 21 points. He's had 3 road games, and he hasn't been over 20 in any of those games. So,
and now that and last game was the first game that Bell finally got going.
Yep.
You throw that in there, and you can dump off little passes to him. Antonio Brown it was the first game he really looked he just was taken out of the game. So I think this is going to be a huge bounce back. I like Jacksonville, but I don't think they're anything. I don't think with this offense they're special enough to stop them.
All right, there's really not many other guys we need to get into too much. One guy I wanted to ask, Jay Cutler, where did you put him? How far down?
I have him number 18.
Okay.
Even at this week, he's going against Tennessee, which
Something
obviously
has to happen,
just
right?
got torched. So I'm thinking about moving him up, but they just looked so bad last week that I'm kind
I have him
of.
at 23.
Oh wow! So you're actually lower than me.
I just can't. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I
Tennessee.
need to see something.
After seeing Watson tear up Tennessee, I'm kind of interested. But at the same time, I think I would rather have like Tyrod Taylor, Alex Smith, like those guys are above him, and they've been playing more consistent.
All right, let's just move over to running backs.
Let's do it.
Number 1, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, okay. I don't think this is going to be a surprise. I think probably the top 3 are all going to be the same, I would assume.
Yep. Well, maybe. We'll see.
All right,
Bell, Zeke, number 2, and Kareem Hunt, number 3.
Yeah, you got it.
And I would actually want to put Gurley up there, but he's playing against Seattle, and I still have respect for Seattle's defense, so it's hard to put him up in that top because of it.
It's actually good. I actually dropped him what I consider a lot after he's been playing so well. Where do you have him ranked?
Gurley, I still have him 4. I'm just going with it.
I have him going with it. I have him at number 7.
Yeah,
which isn't crazy. I mean, like 4 to 7 when you have him, it's not going to make any difference. Yep. But at the same time, Gurley going against Seattle, and I don't think they'll be able to pass. I think they'll be able to stack the box. I think this is where you're going to start seeing Gurley perhaps come down to earth because Goff is not going to be prepared for this kind of defense.
That's true. I can see that. Maybe it's too high. I'm just going to keep.
He's still 7. It's not like he's going to fall off.
He's become the guy that is. I just put him in this top tier right now.
He's been playing that way. There's no doubt about it. Basically, he has been that good.
Hunt and Gurley have replaced, for me, McCoy and Gordon, who were up there at one point. Hunt and Gurley have kind of replaced them for me. And both of the other guys have kind of dropped off. Okay, Melvin Gordon. Where do you have Melvin Gordon?
I struggled with this one because I just think he's kind of banged up at the moment, but I still couldn't get him past number 9.
Okay. I put him at number 9 as well, actually. Mm-hmm. There's players not playing.
The guys after that get really dicey, and that's kind of where it was.
Really, it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at it right now, and I don't even know what to think about my rankings. It's ugly. Actually, with these bye weeks at running back, it's going to be a challenge, I think. I have, let's see here. Jay Ajayi, I still have at number 6, and he's been really bad for 2 weeks. I mean, I don't even know if essentially he's been really bad. The team's been really bad.
I have him at number 8.
It's just, if we see a third week of him doing nothing, that's when I'm going to be putting him down my ranks. I'm still holding on to some hope that this team. It's crazy to think that the Dolphins team, though. I mean, they have a great receiver in Parker, a good number 2 in Landry, a good number 3 in Stills. Those are good receivers. They have a good running back in Ajayi, and they can't do anything. Is that Jay Cutler? Is it the play calling? I don't even know what it is. They got to figure something out. And otherwise, I mean, Cutler's going to be on the bench. It's going to be Matt Moore here soon. But I'm going to keep Ajayi up there. I put Fournette at 7. He keeps doing it every week. On the road at Pittsburgh's not easy, but I like him. I think Jordan Howard. Where's Jordan Howard for you?
Unfortunately, he's all the way down at number 19 for me.
It's a tough.
It's Minnesota. I think it's gonna be a pound him out game, and Trubisky is gonna make the start. I don't know exactly what that's gonna do for the offense, so I'm kind of hesitant on the whole situation. Obviously, he's still a running back 2 for me, but it's just a whole lot of question marks there.
I actually kept him up at 13 just because I don't like any of the other players.
I don't blame you for that at all. I mean, I don't have that faith at the moment. I really want to see one game with Trubisky because I think it could turn into a shit show.
Maybe I didn't think about that enough, about the Trubisky aspect of it, and he can't. Trubisky, how is he going to be able to pass against that defense?
Yeah, you really. This is my thing. It's like, why wouldn't you? I don't know who they play after this actually, but I was like, why would you do it a rival game against a very good Minnesota secondary?
Yeah, they're not gonna worry about Trubisky at all, and unless he's the number 2 pick. Maybe he could be that good.
I mean,
I doubt it, but not yet.
Well, I'll give you this. He looked really, really good in preseason, and the other guys that looked really good have been performing all right. Watson has been putting up numbers. So And obviously you haven't been able to see like Mahomes or, the other guys have been playing behind. Kaiser, up and down, but he's on a terrible team. So who knows? Maybe he's ready.
Where'd you put Lamar Miller this week?
I have him at 14.
I actually put him at 10, even going against Kansas City.
I was going to say, he's going against Kansas City. I'm hesitant to jump him up too much more.
Did you rank Montgomery, or are you still holding up?
I did. He's a tough one. I ranked him at number... I guess I'm ranking him at kind of like he's healthy.
If he's healthy, yeah.
So I have him at number 15.
Okay.
And I think that's assuming he's probably, if he plays and he's healthy enough to play, he's going to be a little hobbled. So that's why he's at 15. And
I have him at 15
I was going to say, if he was healthy, I think he would jump all the way up to maybe number 10 because I don't like a lot of these matchups. But
later in the week, we're going to definitely have some changes with him and basically all the Green Bay running backs. If we actually have some news, because right now it's pretty much impossible to rank Jones and Williams and when we don't know anything. So this is more of a wait and see later in the week thing where these guys actually should be, which I just don't know yet. We don't know what the situation is going to be, so I'm going to hold off. Marshawn Lynch.
Man,
what did you do with Lynch?
He's taking a huge hit for me. He's at number 21.
I have him 26th.
Damn, dude! Every time I think I'm being low or high in a guy, you just add another level.
He looked decent week one. I thought I saw enough week one from him to think, okay, this is Marshawn Lynch. He's back. He's going to be able to pick up where he left off. I mean, he didn't look good as last year with Seattle necessarily, but I thought he was back. I thought he was going to be in a good offense, but now Oakland's offense is struggling. We don't even know if Derek Carr's playing. I don't know if he's going to be out there. Amari Cooper can't catch a ball. He leads the league in drops. And Marshawn Lynch looks old. And this was the worry. So,
well, he's not getting, originally he was getting over, he got 18 carries and 12, then 6 and 9. Like, if you're getting below 10 carries, what is going on? But I do have to say, last game he was going against Denver at Denver. That is a really tough matchup. Now you're going against Baltimore, which is still tough. But if Carr doesn't play, do you think that improves his chances or hurts him? I think it actually improves it. Well, I think you have to run him more.
Manuel didn't look terrible. It's not like he was any worse than Derek Carr was when he played.
Once again, it was Denver.
So it's hard to say. That's why I'm hesitant. I mean, Derek Carr's been okay. I don't know. I don't know what to expect, honestly. It's one of those situations where I would stay away this week. But who has that luxury? It's hard to. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I just wouldn't start him. But if you have Marshawn Lynch on your team, I mean, unless you've hit on some kind of waiver pick and you want to play like a Wendell Smallwood or somebody, I don't know how you can sit him. You might not have the luxury of sitting him. That's kind of the problem. And hopefully you have enough that you can, but it's gonna be a tough one, I think. What about Amir Abdullah? Where'd you put him after? He's looking pretty solid.
I was just going to ask you the same thing. I really loved what I finally saw of him. They're giving him plenty of carries. He's starting to, do much more with them. And he is up really high for me. He's at number 12. And because he's going against that Carolina defense that has been amazing against the run. I just like him more than I like these other guys. I think he just keeps trending in the right direction.
I have him number 12.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I like what I see too, and the bye weeks hurt some other players.
I wish it wasn't Carolina because they really have been that stellar. But I mean, I got to. I mean, the guys below him are Gillislee, Lamar Miller, Ty Montgomery, McCaffrey, who have either hobbled or just haven't been producing as much as I would like, or have almost a worse matchup.
Did you throw Wayne Gallman in your ranks?
Yeah, I did, but I'm trying to figure out where the heck I put the guy. Yeah, he's I know he was around 30, something like that down there.
Yeah, I put him 34, which I thought, okay, maybe I think that's a good spot. And currently in the consensus, he's 23rd.
Wow, really that high?
Right? Does that seem a little high?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, we've only seen him play in the second half of one game. I mean, I like him. I do like Gallman, but the problem is I don't feel comfortable enough to start him this week. And that's kind of where at 23, you're kind of telling people to start him. I don't want to tell anybody to start him. I might be wrong, but I'm going to wait. And like we talked about, his schedule after this week's pretty poor. So, it's going to be interesting. Oh, I was going to say the Jordan Howard consensus rate is 26th.
Jordan Howard is 26th.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So that's, I'm way high, and you're actually high, which you thought maybe you were going to be lower on him. But no, you're actually quite a bit higher than the rest.
No, a very interesting one is Isaiah Crowell. Where do you have him?
25th.
Okay, so I have him 24th, and I love his matchup, and I think this might be I almost want to put him a higher, just because of the matchup, and I think he's finally going to get a chance to kind of show what he can do.
Yeah.
But man, his season has been really brutal. Do you have Duke Johnson ranked ahead or below him?
I have him ahead.
I do too, by 2 spots. It's not a lot.
I have him by 5 spots. I have Duke Johnson at 19.
Wow. Okay, breaking the top 20.
Which his expert consensus is 16.
What? Really?
Yes.
Man, I didn't think it was going to get that. I mean, I feel like that's a little overhyped, but I kind of get where they're going. New York Jets is obviously, the perfect opportunity to throw a guy up there like that, but that's a little rich for my blood.
Okay, and then Gillislee, he hasn't really done much the last couple weeks, but where is he? He's still top 20, right?
For me,
he has to be. I
have him at number 13.
I have him 18, and he has to be there.
I know that he's kind of disappointed, but at the same time, he has so many opportunities at the goal line. Like even last game, he got a carry at the 1, didn't punch it in. But if he did that, no one would even worry about it.
Yep. And then one guy who I think I'm going to be much higher than, I'm looking at expert consensus, I am much higher on Joe Mixon. I have him at 14, and I'm buying in. I still think it's going to happen.
I thought I was high on him, and I was at 18.
See, I still think it's going to happen. I really like what I see when I watch him play.
I wish if it wasn't Buffalo, I think I would sneak him up a few.
That's where I think the problem is, why people are ranking him lower. I like what I see from Mixon, and I just think it's going to happen. I really do. At some point, I feel like it's going to happen. So that's why I keep holding out hope on it and thinking, okay, he's going to really turn the corner. And they're going to stop giving Jeremy Hill carries at the start of the game.
Yeah.
It's just, they need to stop that. It's no good.
Is Joe Mixon a guy that, kind of like how we talked about Cooper in the past, just a podcast ago, how he's been kind of underperforming, so he's one of those guys that you maybe would try to get?
Oh, yeah. To me, it's Mixon and Cooper. I want to get those guys. I mean, Cooper actually less than Mixon. Cooper, I don't know, maybe he is that bad. But those are two guys that I really want to try to get because I feel like I can get them for not a lot. It even depends on your league and it depends on like how hardcore the people in your league are too. And there's some owners, some players in your league that are really going to like Mixon and know what he could be. And there's others that don't maybe pay as much attention, that you can they just know, they don't know Mixon like we do. They haven't talked about him for 6 months since like we've done. And you might be able to get him for, not much. And I would try to do it. I would try everything to get Mixon or get Cooper even, because Cooper you should be able to get him for nothing if people are sick of him. Anybody else stand out to you?
Oh, let me see here. 1 second. Where do you have Alex Collins actually? He's a guy that I've been rooting for lately, and I think he's kind of in a decent position this time around. We're going against Oakland.
I put him 29th.
I have him 25th, so
and I'm actually a little lower. And I like him a lot, and I want him to succeed because I do own Alex Collins in the main league we're in, which I picked him up last week hoping to see something. He didn't get the carries yet, but he's been productive. Expert-wise, he's 30th right now this week so far, which we're pretty much in line with that. I like, there has to be somebody in Baltimore to get it done. It's not Terrence West. So I think it might maybe be Collins. I think he's better than Terrence West. So I don't think Terrence West is any good. Basically, that's what it comes down to.
And I guess one more that I'm interested in, just because he had such a big breakout, but we're talking about Seattle, that J.D. McKissick, is he anywhere on your radar?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Because I just think, I guess he's 55th.
Gotcha.
It's just, it happened in 2 big plays. They very well might give him more work, and we might be wrong. So this is the week and actually he's 55th in experts too.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not this week. Wait and see. This is 100% wait and see. I don't mind if people pick him up because hard to wait and see, and if he blows up, you're going to have to pay a ridiculous amount for him. But, just kind of see what he does. So I'm going to wait. That's pretty much all I got. It's a bye weeks. They're starting. This is the ranks are going to get ugly as we go on. We'll be back with wide receivers tomorrow, which is going to be ugly too. interesting group and players I don't really feel comfortable with. But I think that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with some wide receivers and tight ends. We'll talk to you guys then.